we want to formally welcome you to Health 2023, Year 6.
We care about patients, we care about equity, we care about innovation, and we care about you having a great experience and a productive week at Health 2023.
I think the only race we feel we're in is the race to get it right.
Community, whether virtually or in person, provides the support system that no drug alone can offer.
We create these products, these knowledge sharing, these feed type products that really aim to help connect professionals globally to have discussions about the things that can help them do their jobs better.
I want to try to normalize speaking about diabetes for the next generation of people diagnosed with this disease in a way that I didn't have when I was scared sitting in the hospital room learning about what my new reality was, and there wasn't a person on a platform that I could point to and say, well, it's going to be okay.
If we want to ensure that we all live to 100 or beyond, then we have to start investing in health from before our children are even born.
If you care about kids, you need to care about all those things too, but you also need to care about a woman's right to make the right choices for herself and her family. And so that too has to be part of this conversation.
The truth is, nobody knows exactly what you're going through, but we have so much more in common than we have apart from each other. And when we can connect with people, then that is how we help. Humanity is the safety net. So how can we communicate? And everything, all our communication and all our help now is done through technology.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us. Hopefully you enjoyed that video. I agree with Amanda in the chat. That made me very excited for health this year. So we're here to talk about 2024. I'm Jody Tropiano Green, the head of content for health.
And I'm Matt Baum, the head of business operations at Health.
So thank you all for joining us, and we're excited that you're considering joining us at Health this October for the very first time. So we'll walk you through a few things that we think you should know ahead of coming to the event or registering for the event. And hopefully from this, you'll gain the knowledge you need. But that being said, if there's something that Matt and I have not covered, please put your questions into the Q&A so we can make sure that we get to it at the end. So let's get started. All right, so what you can't miss on our agenda. So I'll preface this by saying that our agenda has over 200 sessions in its entirety. So we start around 9 a.m. on Sunday with our partner programs, and the content doesn't end until about noon on Wednesday with our specialty summits. So in between that time, we have a huge scope of sessions from all of our main program sessions to our impact stage, to our insights program, to our AI pavilion. So I'm pulling out just a few sessions here that I'm particularly excited about that cover some of the big trending topics. But if you don't see something here, I promise there is something on there that strikes your fancy. There's really something for everyone. So Matt's going to get into how to best use our app. But I think when the app goes live, what I would recommend is to start building out your personalized agenda and really read through the agenda in detail to make sure all of the sessions you want to see are on your calendar, because it's easy to get distracted at Health. There's a lot of amazing things going on. So with that, let's get into it. Awesome. So the first set of sessions that we'll talk about hit on a preventive health theme. So it's something, preventive health, that we've talked about for years, something we seldom get in US healthcare. But we wanted to showcase sessions with amazing companies that we think are making strides to kind of change the narrative from sick care to actual healthcare. So a few of the sessions that I'm excited about, first one is the cancer conundrum. So there's an unfortunate statistic, well, fortunate and unfortunate in the same statistic, that there have been over 4 million fewer cancer-related deaths since the early 90s. But at the same time, younger and younger populations are getting diagnosed with cancers like prostate and breast cancer. I'm sure you've noticed it with some celebrities who have been recently diagnosed being really outspoken on social media channels and really raising awareness for the fact that people need to get screened often and early. So this session will touch on that. It's pretty stacked with speakers from City of Hope, Pfizer, Exact Sciences, and Mass General Brigham. So I know I can probably stop there because those are all amazing companies, but they're going to talk about what they're doing to not just get better diagnostics, but also reimburse at a younger age and how we can kind of move towards that in the US in particular. So next session, and this one I will say that I'm moderating this session, but it's not the reason I put it on here. I know you're rolling your eyes and thinking it is, but it's just a topic I'm really interested in. So that's why I wrote my name down when we started building the agenda. So all of these full body MRI scans that are hitting the market, I've had the debate in my head over the benefits and potential drawbacks of this tech. So I thought, why not have the debate on stage? So I'll be joined by a few great leaders to kind of talk through where they're going with this technology, how we're paying for it. Right now, it's pretty fully out of pocket. So will there ever be a world where these technologies will get reimbursed? And actually the CEO of Ezra, which is one of the big ones, will be joining me on this panel. And a speaker from John Hancock Life Insurance, which I think is a little unexpected. So don't miss that one. And then the last one is our longevity obsession. So I'm sure, you know, if you're following Peter Attia, David Sinclair, Andrew Huberman on the podcast circuit, longevity is a big point of discussion right now in healthcare. There's a lot of different roads to longevity. So we're going to talk through it here and kind of cover what we're calling a modern obsession. So next slide. So whoever thought that had a bet going into this webinar that we were going to cover AI, you just won. So, you know, we couldn't get through this webinar without mentioning AI. I mentioned our AI Pavilion earlier, which will cover a variety of topics over the whole course of the event. So definitely don't miss that. And then I just pulled out 3 sessions that we're really excited about. First one is beware of AI washing. So if you don't know what AI washing is, I will tell you. It is the practice of overstating or misrepresenting AI capabilities. And with right now a statistic saying that 25 cents of every healthcare dollar is now being invested in companies prioritizing AI, those 2 things are kind of making founders potentially pepper their pitch decks with more AI jargon that doesn't necessarily back up when you look under the hood of what that company actually does. And investors, you know, this industry is moving very quickly, so they're not always as attuned to the nuances of AI. So we're presenting this session with 4 real true experts to give investors and founders kind of the details of what they need to know, how to spot the fakes, and how to actually make sure you're delivering the right message about your company when you're pitching it to potential investors. Next one is AI foundation models have arrived. So Google, Anthropic, Microsoft, NVIDIA on the same panel. Need I say more? I know this will be a really popular one. So I would say get to this one early because seats will probably be limited. Just if I'm a betting person, I would say that. And a little birdie told me that Brad Genero with NVIDIA is actually on this webinar right now. So hi, Brad. Go support Brad on his session. So really, we're just noticing this trend of all of the foundation models moving very fast in all industries, but also healthcare. They have big ambitions in healthcare. So we want to give them the stage to talk through where they see this technology going in healthcare in particular. And then following on that, you know, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about guardrails and regulations around AI on our program. So that last session, an AI coalition mission, will cover that, specifically focusing on what the government's doing, what a lot of these coalitions are doing. We have Brian Anderson with CHAI on the panel, as well as Melanie Rayner with HHS. So that will be a popular one as well. I think all of the AI sessions are going to be very popular. So favorite the ones that you want to see most and get to the stages early. Great, next topic. So health is October 20th to 23rd. So if you're doing the math, it's about 2 weeks ahead of the presidential election. So we need to cover certain topics on our program. Health is a bipartisan platform, but we wanted to make sure we're covering issues that are on the political stage but are actually healthcare issues when you really get deep into it. So we are covering reproductive health in a few different ways on our program. We're covering women's health in a few different ways on our program, but I'm pulling out this session in particular because this is really about disaster planning for reproductive health and care, and ensuring that whatever way the election goes, that women maintain their access to reproductive care in this country, no matter which state they live in. So I actually saw an alarming statistic today that over 1,100 US counties don't have any access to a birthing facility, and there's over 2.3 million women of reproductive age in those counties. So that's really alarming, and we wanted to put together a panel of experts that are doing something about it. So we'll have Charlie, Upstream USA, VCs for Repro, and Reproductive Freedom Alliance in this powerful conversation. And the next one is Climate's Rising Threat on Public Health. So climate change and healthcare, we've covered it a bit in the past, but we think this will be a really powerful conversation. We all notice it. We notice the rising temperatures globally, and over 70% of the world's workforce is exposed to excessive heat on a daily basis. And it's causing a whole slew of health issues that's hitting our most vulnerable populations the most. So this is a healthcare issue. Also, the healthcare industry is one of the biggest culprits, contributing nearly 5% of global greenhouse emissions. So we thought, why not put together a group of healthcare leaders to talk about solutions to this problem that we are also a part of. Okay, next slide. I promise I'm almost done. Matt, stop me if I'm boring you.
No, this is great, Jody. I love it.
Yeah, you know, where the content team, the agenda is kind of like our baby. So we are gushing parents when we talk about it. I can go on all day about this, but we just have a few more topics to go. So, okay, if you're a betting person again, I bet you thought that we were going to cover GLP-1s on this webinar, and we are. It's a huge topic in healthcare right now. We're covering it a lot on our program, past even just these 3 sessions, including our GLP-1 summit that's happening on Wednesday of the event. So definitely check that out if this is a topic of interest for you. But I pulled out these 3 sessions in particular because I thought they covered some of the bigger trends going on in GLP-1s. The first one being GLP-1s co-pilots. We see a lot of these companion offerings popping up, whether they're apps for nutrition, exercise, behavior change, and they're almost growing parallel with the GLP-1 market, and it's really all booming. There's a new company I hear about every day, and they're all really doing great things to make sure that people on these medications have the best outcomes possible. So we put together a panel of those doing just that. So we have Noom, Hims and Hers, Nestle, and Known Well on this session. And yes, GLP-1s are booming, but they are also leaving a lot of employers scratching their heads, deciding to cover or not to cover. So for the Googles and Microsofts of the world, it's probably an easy decision to cover these medications for your employees. But if you're a smaller startup, just having a few of your employees on these medications can kind of sacrifice your financial viability. So it's a bigger decision, and it's very nuanced, and it's something that we wanted to bring together employer leaders to talk through. So other than that, we'll have Miracle Cure or Healthcare's Breaking Point, which I think is a good culmination of all of the topics that we'll have on GLP-1s. It's talking about what this GLP-1 kind of mean on a macro level for healthcare. It's really a true stress test for our industry when we're talking about balancing innovation and access and affordability. I think GLP-1s are a perfect poster child to talk through, you know, what if more of these medications come to market with the advancements in AI and drug discovery? Can we handle that as an industry? So this would be a really good one. We have experts from Brookings to Geisinger on this panel. So I'd say this is a can't miss. All right, last one. So we covered a bit about coverage and payment with GLP-1s, but paying for healthcare, from employer-sponsored healthcare to Medicaid to Medicare to D2C models, is just really a nuanced issue. And we see the statistics about the cost of healthcare. We know how much we'll pay in the decades to come. It is something that we need to get ahead of. So I just pulled out a few sessions here, but there's a lot on our program on this topic, including our Payer Insights program on Sunday, if you want a deeper dive. So I pulled out Aging's Price Tag because I find it really interesting when you look at the statistics around over 10,000 people a day aging into Medicare, and how we are going to deliver and pay for care for this booming age group. And, there's a lot of debate around Medicare Advantage versus traditional Medicare. And will the money pot run out by a certain date? That date tends to keep moving. So we're putting together an expert of really, great, diverse leaders to talk through Medicare in particular, and also with the election coming up and how they see it going either way. And then the last one is the redistribution of the healthcare dollar that includes leaders like Dr. Monica Soni with Covered California, talking about kind of a different take on lowering healthcare costs and improving outcomes by spending more, actually, but spending more on preventive health. Right now, only 3% of healthcare dollars are spent on preventative health services. So this panel of experts will be talking about how we can increase that percentage over time, and how actually spending more on preventive health will bring our costs down in the long term. So that's just a few, but just, like I said, 200 plus sessions on the program. So please take a deep dive on our website and also our event app when it goes live. Last slide. So our speakers. So the sessions I talked about were mainly our concurrent track sessions. So I did that because I think you should kind of explore around the event. Stages are in all areas around the Venetian. So make sure you build your own personalized schedule. But our main stage sessions are nothing else goes on when the main stage is going on. We have some of our biggest names ever this year on our main stage. I highlighted a few of them here. You see Greg Adams, Lance Bass, Kimberly Powell, Chelsea Clinton. So, the main stages always can't miss. And I think this year even more so. And we have a few surprise guests that have not been announced yet, and they will in the coming weeks. I was hoping I'd be able to share them with you today, but politics. So I'll give you a few hints. One of them is a very, very well-known A-list actress who may have a current movie on Netflix right now. And the other one is an NFL Hall of Famer that I guarantee you'll know once you hear his name. So stay tuned for more speaker announcements in the coming weeks. And I hope you're excited about our agenda. You can probably tell because I'm talking over myself that I am, but I'll kick it over to Matt to give us more on the app and other things you can't miss.
Awesome. Thanks, Jody. This is incredible. I mean, to think that this is only even the tip of the iceberg, not only of the content at Health, but also the speakers at Health, is just an insane feat. So kudos to you and your team for putting this all together. So let's talk about some hacks for making the most of your time at Health. So a few things to keep in mind before you travel. We highly recommend that everybody downloads our event app to start pre-scheduling meetings, to start taking a look at who's going to be attending in terms of companies, people you want to meet with, things like that. Our event app will be launching closer to 2 weeks prior to the event. So in early October, we'll be sending out communications to everybody who's already registered to let them know. You'll be able to download it not only on the Apple App Store, but the Google Play Store for Android. And it's also going to be available on desktop, on computer, and all these systems talk to each other. So wherever is easiest for you to use it, works best for us, works for you. We highly recommend everybody shares on LinkedIn that you're coming using the hashtag HealthUSA. Our network on LinkedIn is unbelievable. We have a ton of people from all over the world who are coming. So let them know. A few things to keep in mind if you are coming from outside of states is to make sure you get whatever relevant visa you need to make sure you can come and have no problems getting here, getting home, all of that. A few things our team internally loves to tell people to pack. Definitely bring layers. The Venetian, as with most large scale conference venues, can get quite cold because they try to chill people out, make sure things don't get too hot. So we definitely recommend bringing layers. Lip balm as well. Las Vegas is known to be quite dry. Make sure you take care of yourself there. Flat shoes is a big one. Our CEO always tells us, our health team internally, that when we're on site at our events, we should be dressing from the ankle up. We try to, make sure everybody is comfortable. You're going to be walking a ton throughout the venue, which is gigantic. So make sure you can do that comfortably and make it through all 4 days of the event and not have
Cannot stress that enough. Your most comfortable pair of shoes. Cannot stress that enough.
Yeah, thanks. Awesome. So chargers and adapters. There are some on-site charging stations at the event, but again, we highly recommend if you have a portable charger, if you have plugs, bring them. If you have adapters because you're coming from outside the States, bring them. I can't tell you how important it is that people have access to the power they need to do their business on the internet, on our devices all the time. And something our head of creative, Michael, has made sure that I relayed to everybody on this webinar is please bring something shiny, some sequins if you have them for our industry night. This is a gigantic night. It is included as part of your ticket, so there is no additional charge to come. As you can see, Michael is very excited about his jacket that he made last year. Michael makes a jacket every event. If you see him around the event, be sure to try to get a selfie. And speaking of which, we have a quick video for the jacket that I think would be quite fun for everybody to check out.
Love that video. I didn't
It's
quite
so
know what
good.
they were getting at when they asked us to film that at Last Health, but coming together, I mean, it's perfection.
Yeah, it's so good. I loved your cameo in that, Jody. That was really good. Awesome. Let's keep it moving. All right, so let's talk about the app a little bit. Like I mentioned, the app will be launching closer to 2 weeks prior to the event. So nothing is live right now. If you're seeing it somewhere on the App Store, it is likely from last year's event. That will be updated closer to the event when it goes live for this one. But a few things to make sure once you do get access that you're making the most of your app experience to make sure you're able to meet the right people and getting as much visibility as you can to all the other attendees. So update your profile. When everybody registers, they give us a bevy of information that we use to then populate their app, but you will always have the ability to update this if you'd like. So make sure all your information looks correct. If you want to share anything else about yourself to help enhance your networking at the event, we highly recommend it. Next, make sure you include a photo. So if people are scheduling meetings or just seeing you around on the floor, they know who you are, maybe from a glance because they saw you quickly in the app, things like that, always helps. And you'll have the ability to network through the app. So you can look through a list of attendees that you can meet with. You can use filters to find people that are in your network or are closer to the industries that you want to be meeting with when you're on site. So one important thing, I already saw we got a bunch of questions about this as well in the chat, in the Q&A, is our Connect program. So we have a number of different networking and matchmaking programs that take place at Health. So whether you're a startup or investor who wants to participate in Investor Connect, if you're a provider, payer, employer, or a service provider, taking place with the Market Connect program, there is always an opportunity for you. So if you are interested in these things, you can always apply. You can always reach out to our team for more information. And these are great, great programs. They're curated. We really make sure we're connecting the right people together to make sure that they're able to do the best possible business that they can.
And the meetings are pretty short. So they're, pretty painless. And if it goes well, great. You can schedule extra time to meet with that person. If it doesn't go well, that's okay. It's a quick less than 10-minute meeting. So.
Yeah, very true. Thanks, Jody. So these meetings are like 15 minutes. They're pretty quick. And the really nice thing is that all of these meetings, including any general attendee networking that you're doing through the app while you're on site, will all consolidate into one schedule for you in the app so that you won't have to bounce back and forth between different places. All your meetings will be in one place. You can save them. You can save then sessions, like Jody's been saying, to your app so you can see everything that you want to do in one place. Makes it super easy. And then also, in addition to networking with individuals, we have all of our exhibitors. So we have a gigantic show floor with hundreds and hundreds of exhibitors who are delivering things from all across the industry. So whatever kind of company you're looking to meet with, you can look for them in our app, you can filter for them, you can search for them, and then you can see exactly where they're located on the show floor, and then just go ahead and find them. You can then reach out to them on the app if you want to contact them there, or just go walk right up to their booth in the show floor and introduce yourself and get a conversation started. Okay, our parties and receptions, these are the absolute best. So as part of your ticket to health, all of our happy hours and health presented receptions are included as part of your ticket. So there's no additional fee to attend any of these. They are included, which is the best. So for example, some of these are our welcome reception taking place on Sunday. We have our Age Tech night in the gallery on Monday, and then we have show floor happy hours that will take place both on Monday and Tuesday right on our show floor. So you can go straight from your meetings with your vendors, with your individuals, right into grab a drink if you want one. Some other amazing parties and receptions going on. Our Women at Health reception. So, this is bringing people together from all over the industry to really connect about certain topics that are important to them, including women at health. We have some others as well.
Yeah.
So
I would just say that this is a very popular reception. Usually it's a packed house, and we've actually themed our main stage sessions right ahead of the Women at Health reception to be focused on women's health. So we have speakers like Chelsea Clinton, Jennifer Klein at the White House, and a few more of those surprise guests that I mentioned. So don't miss the main stage sessions and head right to the Women at Health reception afterwards.
Yeah, perfect. And this was even moved to the Everest stage, which is going to be right on site on the show floor because we needed more space for it because this is so big and so popular. Awesome. International health. So we do have people coming to health from all over the world. And so we want to bring them together. So at Milo is taking place on Tuesday night. Our international community will be getting together, and that'll be really exciting. And then the best of the best, our industry night taking place on Tuesday night at Dre's nightclub at the Cromwell. Just announced yesterday, Busta Rhymes is going to be performing. We're very excited. Again, admission is included with your event ticket. Just make sure when you go, you bring your badge so that you have no issues getting in. And then it's a party just for health for everybody. It's very exciting.
That's a can't miss event. For your first time at health, I think you'll be wowed by the industry night.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you've seen any of the industry nights we've done before, whether you were there in person or you saw them online, individuals like Fat Joe and Ashanti, Ludacris, these are like incredible performers. This is so exciting. This is the best. But perhaps the most important tip of all, be healthy. So, where's my note here? So health in general is a community of really progressive people who say yes more than they say no. We really pride ourselves on our inclusive community members, and everybody who's here, who's operating at a really high level, is discussing really important topics, and it's coming together to not only learn, but do business and achieve all of their individual goals at the same time. So we refer to people who come to health as healthies. We hope you'll all be one of them. Healthies in general love to meet new people. They're brave and bold and try new things. They're also extremely friendly, as you can see from all the smiling faces here. So don't be afraid to say hello to the person in front of you in the Starbucks queue, right at the Venetian, or in the hotel lift, because you're all coming to health.
Yeah.
Like I was mentioning, meet like-minded leaders and decision makers, shaping the industry future only at health.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I can't tell you how many people say that they see health as almost like their class reunion every year, especially the people that have been attending for going on their 7th year now. They've made excellent friends from the events, and obviously the business side of things too. But I agree with everything Matt said about health really being an amazing community of individuals.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, and our community's only been growing and getting better and bigger every single year. We're super excited for this event. And with that said, we do want to offer everybody who's not yet registered a discount code, good only until this Friday. First timer, if you go to our registration page, you can enter this code right before you pay $150 off. And we hope we'll see you all at Health. But we want to take some time. We know a lot of questions have come in. Jody, is there anything else you wanted to hit on before we start diving into some of these Q&As that have been submitted?
I think we've covered it quite a bit. Let's get into the questions so we make sure we don't miss any, and feel free to send more through as we're answering these. I see one on the top, Matt, just digging in a bit more on the Market Connect program, if you want to take that one.
Yeah, absolutely. So a question from Katie Daly, can you talk a little bit about Market Connect and how that format overlaps or not with meetings we may be scheduling in the app otherwise? Really good question. So our Market Connect participants will be able to do all of their meeting selections and choices of who they're interested in meeting with, who they're not interested in meeting with prior to the event. Once that is done, all of that information is submitted into our system, and those meetings are then auto-generated and added right to their schedules in the app. So when you get into your app, when you first open it, you'll see all of your meetings in there, and then you can schedule additional networking meetings around those that are already booked. So if there is a time that's on your schedule already for a Market Connect meeting, when you then go to book future meetings, that time will not be available for you or anybody to select to meet with you, so that there will be no overlap. You won't have to worry about it.
Amazing. So I'll take the next one from Stephanie Kleinbird. On the topic of recordings, will we receive a recording of sessions from Health? As sponsors, I assume we won't be able to attend all of the sessions on the ground live, but would not want to miss. So excellent question, Stephanie. Yes, we do record all of our sessions on site at Health. Some will appear in the event app as soon as 12 hours after they happen live. Others will take a bit more time, up to 2 weeks before they're in the event app. But yes, all of the sessions will be recorded and available for you to watch on demand like Netflix for several months post-event. I also am not able to attend many of them live, but I do watch them back on demand. Yeah,
that's true. I like the Netflix reference. That's a good it's a good one to aspire to. Yeah, it's great. I'll take the next one. I know we have an anonymous submission. What's the name of the event app again? Our event app, again, as I mentioned earlier, is not live yet on the App Store or online, but it will be going live closer to 2 weeks prior to the event. So when it does, you can just search the app stores for Health Event and it will come up. You'll see our nice little lowercase h branding with some bold colors, and that'll be it. You'll see it. Let's take a look. I can take this next one from Kevin McGovern. I saw a section where companies present for funding. Are those open meetings to listen in? Jody, do you have any info on maybe this is referring to the startup pitches?
Yeah, I assume this is referring to the startup pitch competition. So we do have several, and yes, they are available just like sessions for you to go to, for you to save within your own personal schedule. We have a variety of pitch competitions. They're really, really fun. So highly encourage that you check at least one out while you're there. So a few of them are our own Health startup pitch competition that we've been doing since the very first year of Health. We've had some incredible winners over the years, like Papa, Boulder Care, Manatee, just to name a few. So that competition's on Monday. We have our Healthy Living pitch competition presented by AARP. That will also be on Monday. We do a Well by Health pitch competition that's focused on more the wellness and D2C companies. And we're doing a new one that's a little more oncology focused this year in collaboration with Tampa General. So 4 total over Monday and Tuesday of the event.
Awesome. All right, we have a question about the app. Is the app robust enough to make that my primary contact scheduler organizer, or recommended to use in conjunction with my primary scheduler? Really good question. Your app for health will consolidate all of your meetings and saved sessions and anything else that interests you taking place on site into one My Schedule that you can access at all times. But there isn't additionally the option to export or sync with your personal calendar. So whether you use Google Calendar, whether you're using Outlook or any other system, you will have the ability to either export or sync those live so that any changes you make in your app will immediately reflect on your personal calendar so that you won't have an issue with finding everything you want to do in either place that works best for you. Is there a way to purchase a ticket for a spouse who isn't attending health just for the parties or receptions? Joe, do you want to talk about that one a little bit?
Yeah, so we do not have a ticket at a different price for spouses. We do get asked that question quite a bit, but there is a limit on how many people we can have at our reception. So we try to limit that to registered health attendees. But there are a lot of spouses that do end up buying a ticket and coming, especially if they're also working in the healthcare industry.
Yeah, good question.
And you can use this discount code that we're providing for your spouse.
Nice plug, Jody. That was perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, a few more. Do you have to register for a session in order to attend it? Yes. So all of our sessions are included as part of the ticket. The event as a whole is exclusive only to ticket holders and attendees of the event. So there are no individual session registrations, but when you do buy your ticket, you'll get access to all of it. So there are, of course, invite-only things happening that sponsors are managing themselves, but for the most part, our main agenda and everything Jody puts together is included as part of your ticket.
And you don't have to register for individual sessions in advance. You can go to a session serendipitously. If you're just walking by and it looks interesting, you can pop in. You don't need to pre-register for the individual sessions.
Awesome. We got a bunch more. We'll keep going.
Yeah.
How can Nurses at Health make the most of this event? That's a really good question. New to health this year is our Nurses at Health program. There will be, I believe, an additional application opening up for those in the coming weeks, so keep an eye out for that. But there is also a lot of content, I think, taking place just for nurses. Yes. Jody, if you want to talk about that.
Yes. And actually, if you go to our website, we have a really great landing page that kind of goes day by day of what you can expect for Nurses at Health. So it's under agenda and speakers on the main menu on the top, and then you can click on Nurses at Health and look day by day. But we start on Sunday with our Nurse Insights program, which will have some deep dive sessions that are specific for the nursing community. Another thing to highlight is our nurse reception on Monday evening. And there's more than just those two things. So I would highly encourage checking out that page on our website. Maybe we can put a link to it here.
Yeah, really good point. All right, we have a question. When will you share the attendee list?
I don't know if Matt froze or I froze.
It launches early October to all attend in the app.
Matt, I think you froze for just a second. But I don't know if that was just for me, but yeah, Matt froze. So if you want to repeat your answer to that question.
No. Which one was I talking about?
The funny thing is Matt's in our office in New York and I'm in Italy and I have better Wi-Fi than that.
This was our fear, but we got here. We're talking about the attendee list. Okay, so our attendee list will be available through our app once it goes live, again in early October to all attendees. There will be a networking functionality right in the app so you can look and filter and search and try to find the individuals that you want to meet with from any of the companies you're interested in meeting with right in the app. We'd like to understand the level of support available for startups at the event. How does health support with targeted conversations and drive more engagement? That's a really good question. I would recommend for that question, you touch base with our team internally. I would send us an email at either connect health.com. Which one is it? Connect@health.com or sales@health.com. One of those
We'll
will
get you
get
to
you
the
where
right
you need.
person. Yeah. But I would say, we do have a startup rate to register with for approved startups. And also the Investor Connect program is an amazing opportunity for startups attending the event. So those two in particular.
Yeah, very, very good point. Is Market Connect an extra cost? I can take this one. This is a really good question. So as part of our Market Connect program, sponsors are able to purchase these meetings, but on the other side of it, the participants are applying as part of a free ticket in exchange for taking a minimum number of meetings as part of the program. So it really brings the right people together. We're making sure only the best of the best are approved for that ticket. So yeah, the applications are already still live on our website. So if you want to go check that out, definitely submit an application for that. And then if there's any other questions, again, you can email us.
About requesting meetings. Yes. I don't know if you want to get into that more, but yes, you can request meetings with investors in the app.
Yeah, this is a good one. So as a company, I can request meetings with investors in the app. There is a dedicated Investor Connect program where investors drive the meetings. So if you are a startup who opts to participate in Investor Connect, you can meet with investors, but the startups cannot send a meeting request to those investors. The investors drive those meetings. So as a way to save our investor attendees from being inundated with requests from startups who are looking for funding or just want to chat or hang out or anything like that, we do give only them the ability to drive those meetings and send those meeting requests. But I will say on site at the event, there is an Investor Connect lounge that we highly recommend any startups just go hang out at. Natural conversations are happening all the time there, just off the cuff, people meeting one another and sparking a conversation that could easily lead to new business or continued business or anything like that.
Yeah, it's a lively lounge. I like visiting it from time to time during the event.
Yeah, that's a really good one. The Market Connect Lounge is a great one. And the team that builds these structures and designs how all this stuff looks is incredible. It all is just beautiful.
Yeah.
Will the app be completely different from the one we had from last year? Just download it again, but realize it won't work. That's a really good question. So our app is just going to be the same app from the App Store that you used in the past. But like I mentioned, about 2 weeks prior to the event, we will update it for this year's event. So if you have that app, keep an eye on it. When the communications go out that the app is live, you'll probably just need to do a quick update from your App Store, and then you'll have access and you'll get right in.
Amazing. So Rosa asking about the nursing pavilion and opportunity. So we did put a link in the chat to the Nurses at Health page. And then also, Rosa, why don't we share with you Amy Eckenroth, who leads our nursing initiatives. You can share the email if you have any further questions.
Perfect. I'm going to answer that one. How can we connect with investors? We were just talking about that. There is an Investor Connect program. And like Jody mentioned earlier, there is a startup rate available on our website. So if you are interested in that, go check it out. We do have that option available for startups as well.
I see a few questions about the startup pitch competition. We have selected most of our finalists to pitch live at Health at this point. But if anyone wants to still throw their hat in the ring, please email content@health.com, and we can always consider if we have a dropout or a need, or just for next year or our Vive event where we also host pitch competitions. Let's see.
Perfect.
Estimate and attendance. And outside of the app, can we get access to the attendee list? So we don't share our attendee list externally. We kind of protect our attendees' anonymity in that way. So the app is really the best way to get access to the attendee list. If you get spam emails claiming they have our attendee list, that is spam. Please do not go forward and pay for those. It is not something that we support.
Yes, really good point. We have this every single event. We do our best to weed these people out, but unfortunately, there are bad actors out there. So if anybody is recommending that you pay them for our attendee list, that is not something that we provide. That is not a service available to anybody publicly. So be sure to let us know that who's doing that so that we can then go address it on our side.
Great. I think we've covered mostly everything. We need to wrap transportation from the hotel to the conference. Why don't we follow up with our ops team email address so that Not can get the answer to that question.
Yeah, perfect.
And other than that, we do have a list of all the questions that came through, and we'll scan through it and make sure we reach out to you if we did not get a chance to answer it live. But thank you all so much for joining us, and we hope to meet you in person in Las Vegas this October.
Thank you, everybody. Hope you have a great rest of your day.